Right. Thank you, David, as always. And hi, everybody. What always a delight to be here with you amazing poets. Spoken World Online, week number 226, July 16, 2024. And I'm excited because Friday afternoon I'll be reading again in the San Francisco Public Library North Beach branch for the Labor Fest poetry reading with many amazing poets, and it's organized by our own Karen Melander Magoon. I have three pieces for you today. First one's called Weed Killer. Poison white liquid shoots like sperm from the copper penis head and leaves a thin white film. Caterpillar crawls through poison's path. Caterpillar dies a quick, painful death. The weeds shrivel, turn brown, and expire in the wake of the poison's desire. My second piece today is in prose. This is called Banham Place. Last night, we attended a gallery opening in North Beach for an 83-year-old poet and postal mail artist named somebody Byron something. A retrospective of his work, deep with the richness of artistic and literary traditions of 20th century psychedelic mind maps, and to hell with the government space controllers. I was well imbibed, having been fortified early in the afternoon by a good hunk of the dwindling sheet of paper from M&M, and then totally blown out by some great homegrown that Tia smoked in a studio at the Art Institute, in one of those poorly ventilated studios. The paint thinner fumes were giving me additional weird rushes. I was high. Lots of interesting visual effects and accelerated thought processes, and extreme paranoia looking out for cars as I crossed Columbus Avenue. Nighthawk was in her usual drug-free state of extra art awareness, and Grinny was bouncing and babbling, wired on after-school Kool-Aid and Chester Cheetos cheese puffs. There were lots of people at the gallery from the SF art and literary worlds. It was a high and wild scene that spilled out of the little basement gallery into Banham Place between Union and Green. People were drinking and laughing and lounging about in the alley. Beatnik and North Beach poets read specially written works in homage to somebody Byron something. The crowd swelled and I was outside in the alley listening in. Jacques Michelin began to read in his brash, assured voice, and I heard another gruff and familiar voice directly behind me shout out, "The asshole is reading his poem." I turned around and Gregory Corso was standing there holding a tall can of Budweiser, unconcealed by a crumpled paper bag. He stared at me through his bitter eyes and said, "Do you know what they did to me? They took away my son." I said with empathy, "I am sorry that happened to you." He said, "Bah," took a log pull from his beer and wheeled off across the alley while Jack Michelin kept barking his verse from deep in the gallery well. Noise and mayhem and drinking and smoking continued into the night. The party subsided when the fog came rolling in and the crowd dissipated away in the strands of fog. When we got home, Nighthawk said she thought it strange that the Beat era was 30 years before, and these people were still here. She said she did not see any sense of contemporary art in San Francisco by our generation, and the city was past its peak as a creative center. Whatever the Beats may have produced in their time, she proclaimed, now they are a bunch of drunks hanging out in alleys. I disagreed, saying that art remains timeless and that people often did their best work in their later years. Work done with the wisdom of experience rather than the idealistic exuberance of youth. Nighthawk said I did not understand what she meant and that I was more interested in the past than she was, more interested in history and the continuum of art and literature. She said she could not feel any sense of contemporary creativity in the city and railed, the Art Institute is full of 18-year-old rich kids, not the great artists of the 40s and 50s. Where could you go and find the cutting edge now? To LA? To New York? I said I did not think that geography was that important anymore, that we were truly living in a global society with satellites, computers, and high-speed transportation, bringing everything closer together at ever accelerating rates. Maybe that lack of a unified, quote, school of art, unquote, resulted from many different visions and too much information coming together all at once, changing so fast that nobody could get a fix on what the current scene might be because it was endless scenes. The center of the art world being wherever you do your work and those friends who help you along the way. Nothing to be done but produce your own visions and present them as accurately and honestly as you can. Footnote. I just read the above to Nighthawk. She got pissed off and said that I totally misrepresented what she had said about just about everything, and that her passing observations were so obvious that they did not need to be written down. She said that I do not understand what she means at all, that I am interpreting her ideas through my own quirky filters, and that basically I am full of shit. Boy, last time I show her my fuzzy-headed subjective musings, at least my writing elicited an emotional response. And my final piece today, this is one's about another girl. California woman, deep roots by the bay, waters from the highest peaks, through foothills and valleys. She drinks and bathes in them. She bathes in sunlight and moonlight, eats what grows on the land, tends gardens of friends, nurtures communities of inclusion. Mother and daughter of the West, deep in her eyes, I see wells of old soul wisdom, humor, and affection. No time for deceit or subterfuge. Passion like earthquakes, summer heat waves, winter storms. I am drawn magnetically like a 49er in a dream of El Dorado. Her earthly and heavenly charms, knowing true gold comes from the heart, on a boat, on the waters of the bay, afternoon sun on the surface, reflections on her beautiful face, past, future, and such tingling thrill, present pressure, warmth and taste of her kiss. Thank you.